Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Yahriali. In this incarnation, I am here today to talk about the next week, the astrological energies that we are going to have from November 17th until November 23rd. This is a very moving week, which is leading us to make changes from the roots. And many of those changes imply decisions in our material reality that could activate parts of us that are very attached to those forms. Or even this could be linked with things that we didn't realize before regarding certain dynamics or situations that were truly keeping us in limited structures. So one of the keys could be opening ourselves to these situations, whether if they are comfortable or not, with the disposition to understand them as a way of the cosmos that is showing us a path of greater freedom, even if right now we are not able to see the panoramic view. You are going to notice that by the end of the week, the energy is going to be different. Therefore, whatever thing that could have been removed emotionally, if we allow that, we can create that space to turn back to life, to remember that life is not stopped in a point, that everything is movement. So the first transits, I talked about them yesterday because we have a lot this weekend. I wanted to anticipate myself to this information so you can use that in favor of your growth. I am talking about the perfection of the minor grand trine. The grand trine of water with the Sun in Scorpio connecting with Jupiter retrograde in Cancer and Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And this happens tomorrow, November 17th. And on November 18th, Venus in Scorpio is the one that perfects the trine with the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. I talked about both of these aspects yesterday. But basically, we are in front of this energy that we could use as an impulse to put boundaries, to let go of, but also to focus and to expand in the things that actually bring growth. The Sun in Scorpio it is used to show us what was already operating as a stagnant energy, what already wasn't possessing life, or what could be patterns or experiences that we unconsciously we are giving energy and they are draining ourselves or keeping us in denser spaces. So this is about choices and choices with much coherence, but we are talking about all harmonic aspects. I just wanted to add in here that on November 17th, Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius perfects the second sextile with Pluto in Aquarius. The first time happened on October 30th with Mercury direct, right now Mercury retrograde, and we have a third one that closes the cycle of retrogradation with Mercury direct. So in this phase, this sextile, which is a harmonic aspect, is the opportunity to look at circumstances in a much more amplified way, particularly with the passage between the final end of October to the beginning of November, to elevate the look, especially when we are in this over-identification of thinking that things are happening to us as an impediment, they are preventing us from moving forward, because under that premise, we could also think the opposite, that everything is working so we can grow. In fact, this affirmation, it is sustained by the fact that the destiny of what is created, the matter, our experience in here is revelation, is going towards the light. So there could be information, conversations, or connecting with forms of thought that are actually helping us to see what is occurring right now as a transformative process, as the way in which we can reconnect with our capacity of assuming the power in certain circumstances. And with this, I am referring to incarnate answers, way of responding in front of the experiences, that instead of keeping us in a space of being closed or in this lack of freedom or in feeling controlled or wanting to control, we could connect with the contrary, understanding that challenges are ways of expansion, of acquisition of wisdom and higher understanding. Okay, on November 19th, Mercury turns back to Scorpio. Mercury retrograde there makes an opposition with Uranus retrograde in Taurus and a trine with Neptune retrograde in Pisces. This is the new moon. This is part of the new moon. A while ago, days ago, I left a video talking about Scorpio activations with Uranus retrograde in Taurus that is very complementary because I talked a lot of Mercury if you want to watch that video. So we have to take in account that at this moment we are in the last days of the Scorpio season, and these transits, well, are the anticipation of the new moon that happens on November 20th, because in that video I said 21st. It is very common for me that I am like not very connected with the calendar. But well, I wanted to correct myself. And on one side, this opposition with Uranus retrograde in Taurus could lead us to see the unexpected revelations, disruptive situations, conversations that can shock us from a place very extreme. This means wanting position ourselves in wanting to control what right now cannot be controlled, battling, resisting, attaching ourselves to the way that we want things to be. It could emerge emotions of much intensity or attachment, or a lot of I don't know the word right now, but it is this quality of it is quite of a resistance. I don't know the word right now in English. Okay, it doesn't matter. Regarding a situation, so right now, I mean, there are times that people need to transit this, so the transmutation can be produced towards a new phase, a new level. And it is also part of understanding that these resistances that clearly are not feeling good, we could choose to transit them in a different way. But beyond the aspects, the emotional aspects in shadow that Mercury retrograde in Scorpio could have, it is a key to understand that elevating these processes, to put it in words that we can understand, it is not feeling. It is not feeling. We have to be very aware of that. With dissociation of the emotional aspects, because that could lead us to other imbalances, like wanting to cover up voids that later could cause even more suffering. So this is about bringing to consciousness how we are accompanying ourselves in that process, which dialogues are actually feeding the resistance and allowing to circulate the emotions so the purge can happen. And we contact with light through that. So this means seeing the situations as a synchronicity and as part of the change towards something much better. In fact, it is the trine that later Mercury does with Neptune retrograde in Pisces, an aspect of rendition of the ego, not resignation of life. I am saying this because many times people confuse this. It is an acceptance of what is, and well, some people could connect with that from the present moment, and other people could have their processes, but that is what reconnects us to inner peace. Also, this is an aspect of feeling. Mercury in Scorpio is an emotional Mercury, and Neptune is the planet that rules the subtle levels. So we could feel this inner guidance that help us to dissolve barriers of our mind, of our identity, and to understand that what we perceive in the world of forms in the present moment is not everything, isn't everything. Even if we don't understand that rationally, we can feel it. We can, connect with intuition. Okay, November 20th, we have the new moon in Scorpio in degree 28. That same day, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio perfects the conjunction with the Sun. This is the inferior conjunction that we call in astrology, and enables a new cycle of Mercury. This means that what we are transiting these days leads us to a profound change of perception that modifies our reality from here and on. So we have to give time to that. I am referring to respect the processes until we can actually assimilate this new perception. That same day, Uranus retrograde in Taurus perfects a sextile with Neptune retrograde in Pisces. They have been connected for a while, and they are going to continue to do so. But this week, it is an energy that we are going to feel. Both of them rule collective processes, but as I was explaining, they are receiving activations by personal planets. From a more amplified vision, because both of them are retrograde, I am seeing this as an opportunity of a great quantity of people, like masses, entering in contact in first place with that something is coming to an end in forms of sustaining economical structures, resources of the earth, and that we are at the doors of changes never seen in these areas towards the 2026. But also, this is the reconfiguration of forms of spirituality that are obsolete, that like spirituality is disconnected of the matter, spirituality is without practice in this plane, dogmatical ones, that are pretending to impose something that we have to do from this place of manipulation, fanatism, both spiritual and ideological, that are not offering tools for the souls reveal their original essence and can unfold their function in this plane, because the connection with the sustenance from the energetical and the material plane, it is totally related to that function. Okay, next day, November 21st, Sun in Scorpio, perfect opposition with Uranus retrograde in Taurus, and the trine with Neptune retrograde in Pisces that Mercury did days before. This is the new moon. All the week is active, and this is reinforcing what I explained. And when the sun is involved, inevitably, we come to the light. It is illuminated, the things that whether we like them or not, it is important for us to see them. And it is the chance to turn us aware of the things that we are perhaps pretty identified, but sustaining them, they are really generating suffering. Well, that same day, the sun moves out from Scorpio, end of a Scorpio season, and enters in Sagittarius. And for that reason, I was saying that the climate is going to change a lot, because if a Scorpio is the underworld, the secret, the hidden, the instincts, Sagittarius is the phase where the reborn has already happened, and right now it is time to look towards a new horizon, to continue the traveling, the trip. To recognize, it is a moment to recognize the mastery that we are carrying from having transited the darkness, to discover, to uncover that light, that hidden light. And it is an energy much more optimistic, but also has its shadows, as every zodiacal sign, like seeking only for immediate satisfaction, abundance and expansion turning into excess. So we are going to deepen later in that. The sun enters in a sextile with Pluto in Aquarius, which is going to be perfected on November 23rd. Mercury does this at the beginning of the week. So, as I said, in addition of what I said, this is an aspect of seeking the vital purpose, the creative purpose, to contribute to make contributions with the community and with the rising of the collective consciousness. Okay, with the beginning of the Sagittarius season, this is synchronic with the reactivation one more time of the grand trine of water, this time by Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, connecting with Saturn retrograde in Pisces and Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. So if the previous days were a little bit like chaotic, or you felt with uncertainty, again, this is the opportunity to focus Mercury in the vital boundaries, in what is nourishing us emotionally or nourishes projects of life to continue moving forward, but also could be of great help to give an emotional accompanying to oneself or other people from a place of maturity. This means recognizing what is working and what isn't working, to flow in that, but without taking responsibility for things that are not corresponding to us, but assuming these decisions that do respond to the soul. At last, the last aspect that I'm going to mention yesterday, that we are going to feel from November 19th, probably. This is part of the new moon too, and it is Mars in Sagittarius in a square with the lunar nodes. I'm going to expand later, but I anticipated the other day that this is very related with choices between all the mechanisms of moving forward in reality and the new ways, because Mars is the direction, the action that we are making. And we have to understand these lunar nodes, like Pisces is the plane of energy and the subtle worlds, and is the north node, the evolutionary point. Virgo is the air, the practicality, the habits that we are sustaining. And right now is the south node, the point of cleansing. This doesn't mean annulling the energy of Virgo. This means cleaning the limitant patterns. So the world of forms could be a little bit like visiting. I don't know if I'm inventing that word, could be, because what seems to be correct with quotation marks Virgo is very related with this, doing things perfectly, correctly. What could be correctly for society could actually be an imbalance of society that we are adjusting to, and therefore a deviation of our soul. An example could be like the ritual behavior. Could be, a person that is going to work every day because they have to generate matter resources, but that person is not feeling that thing related with the sense of their soul. Therefore, for other people seeing that from the outside, that could be good because the person is like occupying the role that is supposed to occupy. But from the consciousness of unity that Pisces represent, that person, it is not bringing the light that we all need from her or his. It is different if the person uses that passage as a means to find his or her purpose. If it is initiating from a genuine space that's seeking. But we have to understand that this doesn't mean that everyone has to take radical decisions. For some people, it will imply to choose in order to move forward. But for others, being impulsive, it is not going to be the most certain way. It is going to depend on the path of each soul. So you have to listen to your inner voice. But we do talk about that the things that are keeping us doing things in an automatic pilot in certain areas of life that lead us to disperse our energy and to drain ourselves regarding service, helping that we offer to other people in our habits or in our jobs. They are coming from beliefs that are limiting the perception of our reality. And therefore, many times they are also pushing us to make decisions that remain us in spaces that cannot bring expansion. They are a repetitive circuit. So I am going to end this video here today. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.